everyone. Welcome to another episode of It's Crystal Clear, a show that's designed to help you tell your money where to go instead of always wondering where it went. My name is Felicia Young, and as always, I want to say thank you for trusting me to help you along your journey towards financial freedom. There were goals that you were supposed to set for yourself to reach throughout the year. You had a 3-month challenge and you had a 6-month challenge. Y'all, believe it or not, we are just a few weeks away from the end of the 9-month challenge. Isn't it crazy how fast time is flying by? So, I do hope that you have been setting your small goals and I do hope that you've been knocking them out the park because the reality is, whether you're doing everything you need to or not, to reduce your debt, to eliminate debt, to remove your latte factor, or you haven't made one attempt to stop overspending at all. Time is going to keep passing by. Whether you participate or not, 9 months is coming. Then 12 months is coming. So, doesn't it make sense to just do the work you need to do now to improve your finances? So, if you haven't been serious about the past, with this podcast and the lessons that I'm teaching every week, it's okay. I'll forgive you this one time. But I really want you to get started today to take the activity of your bank account serious. You got way too much life to enjoy to not be able to do so because you're broke. So I am not going to allow you to accept that for yourself anymore. So today, I want to applaud some people who reported their payoffs to me. I want to say a special congratulations to Miss Tanya A., who paid off a personal loan and a credit card. I want to say congratulations to Miss Kelly A., who paid off personal debt. I want to say congratulations to Miss Angela J., who paid off some credit cards. I want to say congratulations to Miss Megan P., who paid off her car, to Miss Yolanda M., who paid off her car, and to Mr. Barry N., who paid off 2 cars, y'all. Congratulations to each of you. That's some pretty awesome accomplishment. Keep on going to the next one. So remember, I may have gifts at the end of the 9-month mark for those of you all who are actively participating in these challenges. So I need y'all to keep me posted so you can have a chance to be entered into the next drawing. So today's episode is called What About the Kids? A few weeks ago, I had the privilege to teach some children a 3-week financial literacy course. The ages were from 3 years old to about 11 or 12 years old. And baby, let me tell y'all, those kids kept me entertained. We had discussions about life that they wanted to have when they grew up and how much they needed to earn in order to pay for it and not be broke. We did a vision board session and they had big houses with pools, elevators in the houses. They had 10 cars. They wanted 7 dogs. They wanted jets. They wanted fine dining every single night. Y'all kids have big plans to live large, I tell you that. But what really touched me was when they talked about their plans to help other people. So many had a heart to help other children who were poor to buy all of their school supplies or their clothes and to make sure that they can eat in the lunch lines. One wanted to buy a food truck to drive around the city and feed the homeless people for free. Others wanted to pay for poor women to get their nails and their hair done. One wanted to invite poor people to their big house to have a pool party in the backyard. Y'all, hearing them talk, it did my heart so good. But a few days later, I had a parent approach me and she asked if I was the one who was teaching the children the classes. She said her daughter went to her and to her husband to discuss her concerns about becoming an adult. She wanted to know if having $100,000 would be enough for her to live off of for the rest of her life. She wanted to know what were the taxes on $100,000. She wanted to know if she was going to go in the right direction to become a successful adult. The mom said that the daughter was really, really concerned about whether she can afford her future or not. So, of course, that conversation hit me like a ton of bricks and it made my mind spin. And I really had to change my entire lesson for their upcoming class. So, the next class, I had to make sure I bought some snacks because I know how to bribe the kids to listen to me. So we sat down in a circle and we had a serious talk. We had a very blunt talk. And we talked about their roles and their jobs as children. And I'm going to share my conversation with them with you today. So I told them that their jobs as kids were as follows. Number one, to be the best kids that they can be at home and at school. Have positive behavior, be obedient, be grateful, be helpful to their parents and teachers. I asked them how many noticed that their parents worked a lot. They all raised their hands. So I asked them how many had a nice place to live, a nice room to play in and sleep in, good food to eat, Nintendo Switches to play with, cool clothes and shoes to wear. They all raised their hands. Then I asked, if I go to your house right now and I go inside of your rooms, would I see all of those clothes and shoes thrown all over the room? Chores not done, a mess in the house everywhere that they were? Some of the kids got really, really, really quiet. And I said, your moms and dads work really hard to make sure that they can pay for the things that you have thrown all over your house. Your job is to make sure that every single day when you're home, that the things that your parents bought for you is put up in its right place. Your job is to make sure that the trash is taken out, that the dishes are clean, that your area in the bathroom is clean, that your room stays organized, and make sure that every single chance you get, you tell your parents thank you. So then I asked them if I go to their schools and I talk to their teachers, what type of behavior reports would I get from those teachers? Some of the kids got really quiet. And I said, your job is to go to school and learn and to have fun at the right time with all of your friends. I said on the vision board, each of them wrote out all the things they wanted to be and all the things they wanted to do when they grew up. I told them, how are you going to get any of those things that you want if you aren't taught by your teachers? I said, you cannot learn about how to be an astronaut or that lawyer if you're not listening to your teacher who is teaching you about it. I told them that their job at school was to listen, to be obedient, and to learn. I told them that their job was, as they grow, to discover their gifts and their talents that will make a way for them to get paid well in the future so they can get those things on their vision board. I told them do not overwork to chase money, that money is only a tool and resource to fund their dreams. I asked them what they thought was more important. Was it time or was it money? And they all yelled time. So I told them to make sure they made time to spend with their family and their friends. You can always make more money, but you can't always get more time. And I asked them, what was the magic word that we've been studying? And they all knew it. They yelled, budget. I told them that if they made time to budget their money and live within their means, they would always be able to have time to spend with those who they love and not be stressed out on how to pay for all the things that they need to live. I told them what their jobs were. It was to just be kids. I said they will have the rest of their lives to be adults, but I need them to enjoy being children for as long as they legally can, to go outside, to go play until they wear themselves out, to enjoy playing their games with their friends, enjoy not having the responsibility of a house note or a car note, to enjoy coming to summer camp. I told them that although I did want them to think about their future and understand what they need to do to have a successful future, that at the end of the day, as of right now, I just want them to have a good old fashioned time. I want them to let God do what He does to keep blessing them and making sure that they will have what they need to live off of and have a great life. And I wanted them to let the adults do their part to make sure that their kids are ready to function as adults. So, as I said that last part out loud to the kids, in my mind, I low key panicked. My question became, are we as adults really doing our parts to make sure that our kids are ready for their future? So, since I have this mic, I'm about to be brutally honest with us. Many of us as adults are not doing our part for these children. So we may have good intentions to do so, but the reality is many of us are failing them. Y'all, we're drowning in debt. We're living paycheck to paycheck. For some, it's worse than that. The end of the month's check is already spent before the month ends. Many of us are struggling just to make ends meet. Many of us are missing out on our children's football games, their dance recitals, and science fairs just because we're overworking, just because we're working overtime, just because we're working more and more hours, many jobs, again, just to pay bills. Or they're not even allowed to participate in anything extracurricular simply because you cannot afford the fees and the uniforms to begin with. Y'all, our kids can't do their jobs and just be kids because us as adults, we're not doing ours and making sure our finances are putting us in a chokehold. I am not bashing any of you. I promise I am not. But I am bringing awareness to you that you have to do your part to make sure that the kids are okay and that all of the kids have what they need to successfully take your place in the future. Today, I am going to talk about you taking control of your finances so that you can take control of your family tree. The question today is, what about the children? So, what about them? If you have children of your own, or if you have grandchildren, if you have nieces and nephews, godchildren, neighborhood kids, if you have church kids, or kids in your classrooms, what do you envision for them? And what do you envision for their future? That you have a responsibility in making sure it happens for them. My question is, what is your role? What is your responsibility to help these children? Number one, part of your job is to teach them about managing money. But how can you teach them when you don't know yourself or you're not doing it yourself? So that's why it's so important for you to do all the things that you're learning through this is Crystal Clear podcast. Y'all know kids copy what they see. They need to see you actively making a budget and sticking to it. Let them be a part of the conversation sometimes so they can understand that mommy and daddy bring in so much money a month. And these are the expenses that we have to pay. And this is the amount of money that is left over each time. And we have to make wise decisions on where to put the money, including the needs of the children. So if your kids see you and your spouse constantly fighting because of money, they will start associating money and the lack of money with drama, with issues, and with strife. So if your kids see you're always working overtime, having to work 2 and 3 jobs, and missing out on their activities and events, they'll start associating money with not being able to be there for their family. If your kids see you constantly swiping your card to buy more and more and more and more stuff that you know you cannot afford, they're going to start associating money with never being content, never being satisfied. Your job is simply to set the tone for how your kids view and respect the concept of money. So, number two, part of your job is to teach them to earn money for the things that they want. So I asked the kids in the camp, if I were to go to their homes, would I see their toys and clothes thrown all over the place? Would it be broke, ripped, torn? How would their things look? Some of the kids simply said that I was not invited to come to their home. That's fine. But our kids have to understand that they have to take care of what's given to them. And for the extra things that they want, they're going to have to do jobs and have to do chores to earn it. We as adults know sometimes when we get gifts or we get free stuff, we don't always take the best care of it. Not all the time. But when we use our own money to buy something, y'all know we'll hire security, watch over our stuff. We don't want no scuffs to get on our brand new pair of white shoes. The ladies, we sleep with our heads on our chin so our hairstyles don't get messed up. Y'all, we go overboard. We go overboard. We'll put our outfits in garment bags just to make sure that nothing happens to it. When we pay our money, we make sure that we take care of our stuff. I promise that's the same with children. If those little jokers have to go and cut 7 yards in the hot sun just so they can buy one of those games, or if they need to buy an outfit that they just have to have, you best believe they're going to treat that with the utmost of respect. I remember a time when I was young, well, when I was younger, I asked my mom for a pair of Calvin Klein overalls. My mom has 5 children. She was not trying to hear that at all. She was not trying to spend no extra money on something with a name attached to it. And y'all, I promise, I got so mad at her because my friends had Calvin Klein and they had Guess jeans and they had Z Cavaricis, and I wanted some too. So I said when I got my first job, I was going to start being able to buy whatever I want, and I was going to use my money to do so. So, got my first job, got my first check. I wanted those Calvin Klein overalls. So I went and bought them. Y'all, those mugs were $98. And that took almost my whole little check. When I say my nerves are bad, my nerves are bad. And I wore those overalls all the time because I needed to get my money's worth out of them. I kept them for years. And I promise I never bought another expensive name brand item again. Not me. So I need you to teach your kids to earn money for what they want so they can value what they have. So, what are some different kind of ways that your children can earn money? Chores. There's no reason to hire a maid when you got children breathing in that cold air conditioning in your house. Make sure they have a list of things to do around the house to earn some extra change. Good grades. Not every kid will be on the honor roll. That's just a reality. But doggone it, they better be doing the best they can on their assignments and on all of their tests. And they better not bring a report card home filled with letters that start with my first name. That is unacceptable. Good behavior. The kids nowadays, they are so much different when I was young. We used to get popped by our parents, by our neighbors, and teachers if we misbehave. Nowadays, it seems like these children are running the household and running the schools. Y'all, there has to be consequences for actions, whether good, whether bad, especially bad. If those jokers are cutting up in school, you better not dare buy them no more toys, and y'all better not buy them no more clothes, and do not let them lay around the house that like they're living in a resort. That is very unacceptable. Consequences. They can only have what is required for them to live. They can only have some food. They can only have some water. Don't y'all buy them no Capri Suns and Jungle Juices. They have to understand that it is a privilege for their parents to spend extra money on them. And if you cut up, that privilege is revoked. On the other hand, I need y'all to be sure that you reward them for when they do well, when they behave well, when they're being good kids and simply good students. Yes, I know they're supposed to behave well anyway, but what's the harm in rewarding them? So when you're at work, don't you get bonuses for a job well done sometimes? Don't you get raises for performing well? I feel that it's okay for children to get incentives for being great kids also. So I know some of y'all are looking at me, and I know y'all are kind of side-eyeing me. I know y'all are saying, with what money am I going to give my kids some allowances and pay for some incentives? So to that, I say, with that latte money that you stop spending, all that Starbucks that you stop paying for, that money, with that extra money that you have because you cancel that gym membership because you don't go to the gym anyway, with that extra money that you have because you stop going to every single sale that dealers have with that extra money. Uh, I need y'all to be done with debt, y'all. I need y'all to be done paying for stuff so you can afford to buy whatever you want without getting into more debt. I need you to take control of your finances so you can change the course of your family's legacies. So I firmly believe that each generation should be better than the previous generation. I firmly believe that our ceiling should be our children's floor. I firmly believe that it is our responsibility to make sure that our kids have access to all of the tools and to all of the resources they need to be able to enjoy being kids now and become successful, thriving, educated, wealthy adults in the future. I know that it can happen. It's going to happen, but you must do your part in order for it to become so. You're not just raising good kids, you're raising financially stable adults. They're going to do their job, but you're going to have to do yours as well. So that ends this week's episode. I hope that it was a blessing and will be helpful for conversations with your kids. I need you to be sure to share this episode with other parents. Remember, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and we're on Apple. As always, I want to thank my behind the scenes team for doing all that they do to bring me to you every single week. And I want to thank you for trusting me to help you make your lives much better. Remember, 9-month challenge. Let me know about your progress. I need you to make sure that you keep moving forward no matter what. And I want you to remember to dream big, stay focused, and to live your best life within budget. I'll see you next time on It's Crystal Clear.